Okay, we're recording.
1 + 1 don't equal 3.
You have to put in some effort. You got to stop rushing that. That's part of the intro.
I feel like your influence or your enthusiasm for the podcast is at a different level than mine. Have you picked up on that?
We still have to put in some effort.
Okay, we'll do. What's up?
It's been a 2-week hiatus, but we're
It
back.
has. We are back.
We'll talk through that. But hot off the press, let's go straight to it.
I mean, hot off the press.
Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day. Thank you to the men and women who gave their lives so that we could celebrate this day.
And this is not Veterans Day. This is Memorial Day.
Right. So we remember those who have died. I am coming off of a unit in class where we talked about just war. And I started the unit with a picture of Captain Ralph J. Harding on my slideshow, who is my sister-in-law's first husband who died in Iraq. And when she had 2 children, was pregnant with the third. And I started with that slide to impress upon my students the absolute importance of the weight that the church puts on something like just war, because war is always a tragedy.
It impacts everyone. Someone's always impacted.
Exactly. And human lives are lost. And so so I keep trying in my classes to be like you can approach this just solely academically, but this stuff is like huge. Like it has huge weight. And so I think giving some honor to Captain Ralph J. Harding, who died in Iraq, was really important. And so today I think of him.
Mm-hmm.
And his 2 sons that look exactly like him, our nephews, like carbon copies of him.
Yes.
So it'll be fun to meet him in heaven if we do. That'd be great.
If you're allowed in.
Yes. So Memorial Day, really big deal. Really big deal. Very easy to lose the big deal on a beautiful day where you get to barbecue, which today is beautiful. Yes. I already sat on the patio and had my coffee. Gorge.
Posted a lot on Instagram.
I posted many stories on Instagram because I woke up this morning is today the 25th?
Correct.
May 25th, to the realization, like first thing when I started scrolling, that Magnifica Humanitaris. Let me see if I got that right. Magnifica Humanitaris. I think I did.
I don't think you pronounce it Magnifica.
I think you do. I think you can. Yeah, Magnifica Humanitaris.
Or is it Magnifica?
Humanitaris dropped this morning, which is, I think, God's grandeur. I think that's what that means. The grandeur of God.
I don't speak
Latin. I think that's what it means. Or maybe the grandeur. I'll look it up. I'll look it up right now while we talk. I didn't look that up. But when I saw that it dropped, I felt like it was really important for me to read the whole thing.
And you did. You read cover to cover the whole thing.
I thought it was going to take me less time, but it was 245 paragraphs. So it was a considerably length encyclical. And it was good. It's on AI. Magnificent Humanity. Sorry, not the grandeur of God. He referred to the grandeur of God often. But Magnifica Humanitas. Magnifica Humanitas. I know we care so much about this, which means magnificent humanity. So I read 245 paragraphs on magnificent humanity.
So go into it. Tell us. I've not read it.
Did you not? You got some headlines, I think.
I mean, just very
disarm
headlines.
AI. It was good. I mean, it was really good. I got to synthesize it. You know what I mean? But I would say that it is about far more than AI, of course. They thought, and they were right, that it would be kind of the church's definitive teaching on AI. But in order to teach on AI, you have to ground things first. And so he started by grounding our teaching on artificial intelligence in Catholic social teaching with the idea of the common good at the forefront. Something called the universality of goods, which is or universal destination of goods, and then solidarity, subsidiarity, and justice. So he started with a history lesson in social justice,
which is pretty common. Like when you see these documents, they don't just start going off what they believe. They do start with like a grounding of church teaching and doctrine.
Yeah.
So it's to not say we just made this up. It's like, hey, we have a
Right.
We have some background.
Yeah, like this isn't just Pope Theo's thought or Pope Leo's thoughts.
It's not just like a blog of like, here's how I feel about this. It's like,
right.
no,
this is like a teaching document of the church. So it's grounded in other teaching documents of the church, which are grounded in the gospel of Jesus Christ. One thing I thought was interesting, many times he said that artificial intelligence is not morally neutral. Which I thought was interesting. So I would describe AI or tech as morally neutral, and I do not think he would like us to do that. However, he didn't call it a moral evil,
which is good,
and he didn't call it a moral good. I think by saying that it is not morally neutral, what he was doing, and again, I read it, it took me about 4 hours to read, maybe 3 hours to read. So I still got to synthesize. But I think what he was doing is saying that technology is not morally neutral, depending on how it is made, its purposes, its like desired outcomes. It either can be morally good or morally evil, but it is not morally
which
neutral.
Calls the question, like neutrality itself.
Right.
And which gives itself to lukewarmness.
Right.
Which there is scripture about that, like being lukewarm. It's like essentially, it's like pick a side. Like,
right.
There's a lot of things we say, like you got to pick a side.
Yeah. And
So you got either you're on this side, you're on that side, but like this middle ground, or like I'm lukewarm or neutral. It's like no.
But I think a lot of times
people can't be neutral.
People say tech is neutral in itself. It depends how you use it. He is saying that tech, even in the way that we make tech, is not necessarily neutral. Like it is good or evil.
Because you do have an intent behind how you use it. You're not just like, it doesn't exist for its own. It exists to be used.
Yeah.
So you're using it for nefarious purposes or using it for...
Yeah. And I think the overall, like I would say in my reading that the overall document is a cautionary tale of all of the dangers that are presented with tech. Very little like this is so awesome because very little. I mean, almost none. A cautionary tale of the tech, its uses when it comes to war, humanity, the way that we think, the way that we process. Really just like hyperfixated on the danger of some of this. So, yeah.
Because ultimately it's used by humans for human purposes. So there's a grounding of human dignity and what is the intent behind this. Because technology doesn't exist for itself. We create it to use it.
It's going to be super interesting because you're going to read it, I'm assuming.
The next couple of weeks. I won't do it all in one.
You won't do a crash reading, which I don't know if I would do a crash reading, but I was super curious about it. So I'm just trying to like see if there was anything in particular. Oh, I mean, the whole thing that he grounded it in, which I told you was really interesting, is the Book of Nineveh and the Tower of Babel. Separate story. Book of Nineveh would be the Nehemiah rebuilding Jerusalem, and we have a choice to rebuild our culture through AI, or like the Tower of Babel, which was made as like a exercise in human ego. Do you know what I mean? Or we can carelessly use AI, artificial intelligence technology, like the building of the Tower of Babel, and we get to choose how we want to use it. So yeah, it was good. It'll take a while to synthesize, but I'm glad that I read it. Lots of good stuff in there for me in terms of like my classroom. So
he kind of he did your job for you.
I mean, he always does, because a good teacher of high school leveled theology would be striving merely to let the kids know what the church teaches. Not my opinion of what the church teaches. So,
well, and also to our listening audience, I think a lot of people think of AI as like just like Chat GPT. There's many other. AI is a very broad. It's an extremely broad field that covers a lot of different things. I think ChatGPT brought it to the forefront where you really didn't hear about it until 3 years ago when ChatGPT, other than like movies, but I would say that is a use case of it. But it's a pretty broad area.
Yeah, and I would say that this document that he wrote is way broader than artificial intelligence. Like it's almost like it is speaking into this moment in culture, right? So like, I mean, he wrote tons about peace and dialogue and community, and like AI's role in war and AI's role in oppression of people and enslavement, and like, I mean, he did a lot with it. So it's a huge document, like huge. Yeah. It'll be interesting as people analyze it.
So you would encourage our listeners to read it?
Yeah, it's churchy. I'm not going to lie. It was funny. As I was reading it, I was thinking about some of the documents that the local church has put out, like the AOD, and a lot of the documents are churchy, right? And then the Archbishop put out a document on transgenderism that was more pastoral than churchy, and it was far easier to read, right? This is definitely not a pastoral document, in that I feel like it is churchy. Like, I think you'd get a little lost in it, but you can take your time with it if
Right.
you'd like. It's churchy. I mean, it's meant to be, an encyclical. So.
Right. And they can reach out to you as the resident Catholic authority.
The resident
Metro
Catholic
Detroit,
authority in Metro Detroit. I feel like some people would dispute that claim, that I am the resident
I feel
Catholic
like for them, you're the
authority
closer they have to a Catholic authority
in
who is pastoral, but also
Metro
understands
Detroit.
the church as well.
It is funny. I do
'Cause
get
some
happy
lean
sometimes. I
one
think
way is the other way.
Yeah, I think sometimes people that know us within our little communities and spheres of influence do in some ways trust, like,
They reach out. You've had people reach out to
absolutely,
you.
yeah.
Like people reach out to you because
Which I'm excited about.
because they have questions.
Yeah.
And they want to know what to think about it. So
I strive to be approachable, and I think that maybe sometimes that comes through. Do you know what I mean? Oh, one thing that the Holy Father said that was really hurtful to me. I felt like attacked. It said we need to disarm. They said the headline was like disarm AI, but he gave 5 different tips of how to do that. And the first tip was for you and I to disarm our words. And he talked about the importance of words and how words can either be used towards good or towards evil, and that we have a epidemic. These are my words, of using words to escalate things versus to de-escalate things. And I thought about myself, because you know how I am with words.
Yes, I know.
I swear a lot. And I put this on social media. I've realized through a couple different instances, the fact that swearing to me is like a second nature. Like, I don't do it at school, so I know when to like discern it, but I do it a lot with you. And as the conflicts with our children become more significant, so more mature conflicts, I am finding that my words often resort to swearing in the context of conflict with our children, which is always a bad thing, because again, words can either escalate or de-escalate situations. And on Friday, I used 2 F words whilst disciplining a child in anger. And it really made me take a step back. You know what I'm saying?
So I can reference Pope Leo. I can say,
be like, are you disarming your words right now?
Magnificat Humanitas.
Right.
I'll just say that. That'll be our code word.
MH.
Magnificat Humanitas.
MH. So I need to work on that big time. So anyway, yeah, that was this morning. What else is going on in our lives?
So let's go back in time.
Let's go back, but let's do a TDLR.
No, remember, we don't rush on this podcast.
I got a lot to do, because I spent 4 hours reading a document that I did not intend on spending today.
You already called. You only got 2 more weeks of school left.
I have so much cleaning. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about cleaning, and we're having your parents over for dinner today. But
the year is over.
All right, quick recap. Go back where you want to go back to.
We went to Kentucky.
We did. We're going to Kentucky. We're going to the fair.
I was like, what? We went to Kentucky?
So we did.
That was last weekend for our nephew's high school graduation.
Right. Couple things about Kentucky from my perspective. Number one, it is crazy that our kids are older now. Like, one of our nephews drives, and like they now are in the like, hey, we're going to drive places, see you later phase of life. And it's weird to watch all of my boys get in a car with their cousin and go like to the mall to hang out, just a little letting go of how it once was. It used to be diapers and naps. And now it's like, go ride in cars to malls. That's first observation. Observation number 2, we stayed far away from where my sisters live. My sisters live about 20 minutes away from each other. And then we stayed about 20 minutes away from that. And it was not good because of the amount of back and forth that we had.
You wanted a nice hotel. So I asked you.
I did want a nice hotel.
Like, and
it is the best.
And I said, okay.
And it was the best. It was beautiful. Yeah, the hotel was actually magnificent, but it was hard logistically. We did a lot of driving back and forth. I don't think I have anything else to say about that weekend. Do you?
Just logistics, like with kids wanting to be with their cousins, and then just having to plan. And
my kids act like they
challenges with thoughtfulness of like, because sometimes, and I've said this before, like whenever they're around their cousins, like their minds turn to like mush, and it's
Right.
like any
That's
type of logic or
right.
being a reasonable human being just goes to waste. And like we're at their we're
Right.
at their beck and call. Like,
Right.
can we do this? Can we do that? Can we go there? And
And it's like they will never see their cousins again. This is the last time they'll ever hang out. So they need to have every waking moment together. But that's hard logistically when you've got like, what is it? Let's say 12 kids that you're trying to like keep together and hanging out. Maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's 10.
and
1,
there's
2, 3,
boys
4 plus
groups versus
5.
girl
So
groups.
9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 kids you're trying to keep together. Boys groups versus girl groups, drivers versus non-drivers, fighters versus non-fighters. Where are they all going to sleep? You can't stick 12 of them with one person. So you're dividing them up. Some people are in the hotel. Some people aren't. Oh, I don't want to be in the hotel because it has nothing to do. Oh, I want to be in the hotel because it has a pool. Oh, let's go swimming at the hotel. They get to the hotel, then decide they're too cool to swim now that they're older. So only one of them wants to swim. So now we're leaving that one here. I mean, it was like, there was a lot of that. And it did reach a boiling point in which I definitely scolded our kids for their lack of consideration as we were the chauffeurs for the weekend to ensure the cousins hanging out. So that was hard.
Yes,
that was hard.
A lot of dynamics
and there's always sibling dynamics at play and all of that kind of stuff too, like me and my siblings. So it was fine. It was a good weekend, but a hard weekend, I think. Right? Like it's interesting as the kids get older, dynamics become just different. You know?
Well, it becomes less. I don't know. It's. I think as they get older and like as they start to graduate more and more, it's like it's a. We don't have to manage as much because like then they all get older. They go to college.
Right.
They get jobs.
Right.
So it's not
this
like,
is
hey,
a small window of
it's not like, hey, let's do cousin hangout time. It's like, no, like they're adults now. Like they're doing their own thing.
Yeah,
so.
but it's cute because I do think I've said in it. I mean, anybody that knows me personally, and it doesn't always bleed onto the podcast. Like my family does have a considerable amount of drama. I think with 5, 6 adults, 45 grandkids. Just there's a lot of drama internal.
Not 45
drama.
grandchildren.
Sorry, not 45 grandchildren.
Say what?
How many grandchildren? 33
33?
grandchildren. I think there's 45 of us total. Sorry. 33 grandchildren, 45 of us total. There's a lot of drama, but what I always say is that like all the drama is worth it for the cousin relationships because our kids love their cousins. They will be their best friends, which makes me very happy. That's something you did not have because your cousins were all different ages.
Well, until they get older and they start like fighting with each other, like on social media.
Yeah, because of their political views. That'll be amazing.
I love you, but you're wrong. You're wrong. You're a bigot.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
But yes.
That was a classroom conversation this week where one of my students, I have 2 students that like each other. Like they're like friends, right? But they have different political views. So one said that all Muslims were terrorists, and then the other responded that anyone who voted for Trump wants to kill babies. And so it was I had to de-escalate that conversation between my students. So anyway.
We didn't have that in my...
These are particularly politically animated kids. I mean, I wouldn't say this is an average student discussion.
Well, that was the beauty of growing up when we did. Like there was like, we didn't have cell phones. Social media wasn't a thing. So you were kind of limited by like the people you're around and like TV. Yeah. And I feel like politics wasn't as heated. It didn't funnel down to us as teenagers, or we weren't aware of it. Because remember, when I was in high school, we had Clinton, we had Bush, the first term. And I don't remember being like as heated.
Well, a big part of this document that I read this morning, though, talks a lot about that, about how the media has escalated narratives, how we're not based in grounding anymore. We don't start with a place of respect. We start with a place of suspicion. But all of that is really, it's media and social media driven. Like if all you read and see is divisive stuff all day long, some of it not even true because it's like a propagation of one side that isn't accurate. Like, of course you're confused and it's heightened. And that's the Holy Father's like, this has got to stop or it's going to end in a world war.
Well, you have news, like, I mean, I don't know the date, but I think CNN and Fox News were still in this infancy stages.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you also didn't have 24/7. It was like you have Channel 2, Channel 4 news, and like that was your news for the
day.
it
was actually like news. You were just getting the stories.
All these different sides. You didn't hear all these different angles unless you listen to, I don't know, 60 Minutes.
I know I've said it here. I've definitely said it on social media. To me, the trippiest part of living in our current culture is that you actually cannot depend on the news to tell you the truth. They can manipulate things. So it's very hard to discern truth. And the Holy Father spoke to that too in this document. That is a wild shift. Like even the narrative, let's touch something really complicated and hard right now in the Middle East. Like depending on which station you watch, CNN or Fox, there's two completely different narratives about what's happening.
Yeah.
That's really hard to discern what's truth. The only reason I feel confident in my understanding of that situation is because I was there. And I mean that. Like, that's what I rest myself in, is like, this is what I actually saw. And because I actually saw this, I have the ability to speak on it, because otherwise it's super confusing. It's hyper confusing. And I remember being in the Middle East being like, wait, this is not my understanding according to the media I've watched in terms of where the persecution lied. And it was really amazing to me. It was very eye-opening how little we actually know based on the narratives that we follow. So
Yeah, exactly.
how did we get there? Oh,
we're talking about Kentucky.
yeah.
Yeah. And our children eventually fighting a lot with their cousins.
Oh, on social media.
On social media. And like,
well, that's already started. I mean, I've got
blacklisting each
nieces that
other.
got us all blocked because of different things. And my brother, I have one niece that's like really pro, like the Palestinian people. And so, and like advocates for the Gaza Strip. And then I have a brother that literally, to bother her, wears a pro-Israel shirt when he comes around her. So like, it's already begun.
I told him he should wear that. He's walking around Dearborn.
Stop. What is wrong with
that shirt?
And he would too, just to agitate. Although my brother's perspective is really helpful. I've referenced it many times this week in classes. We're talking about just war, because it's like easy to vilify how other people feel. And you know how I feel about the conflict in the Middle East. And I always make sure to say, like, there's people I love and respect that see this situation completely differently. And I love and respect them. Like, it's okay to say, like, we're drawing different conclusions because it's a very confusing time. Do you know what I mean? But then I always make sure to offer gently. I think the church has been very clear on which side she's taking. So, because I think she has. And she definitely did in this document this morning. So, anyway.
Yeah. So Kentucky
is great. This week we continued on what happened this week. It was my birthday.
You turned the big. Do we tell two people your age?
I don't care. 46.
Dang.
It was a little bit of an L of a birthday from your perspective. My dear friends surprised me with crumble cookies, which was amazing. Number one listener and fan.
Well, about two.
And
right?
then
our neighbor
my family
first.
ate like all of them,
first,
including my husband, before I was even able to touch them, which was super weird.
That's out of order. Our neighbor got you the nothing bun. That's starting to grow more.
It's really good.
Bun cakes.
Yeah, the nothing bun
cakes. They are good.
Yeah, these they were really good little cupcakes. And she got me this mother's ring, which I really wanted. It has all of my children's names on them. One ring for each child. They're really thin. It's so beautiful. Favorite gift by far. And then you decided to take us geocaching, which was fun. Treasure hunting. I used to do that when I was younger. Our kids did not enjoy it as they should have.
No, the
three little ones did.
Your oldest didn't, because he hates anything.
And he likes to dive bomb every social experience of our family.
Which makes you upset.
Yeah, I've had it with my oldest. If anybody wants a 15-year-old to come live in their house, I'm just kidding. I'm actually wildly proud of him. He's a really good kid. He tried out for the faith leadership team at our school this week, faith in action team, and I think he's going to make it. And I'm so proud of him.
Did you have influence?
And he's a nice kid. Like, he's a very nice kid, which I love. Like, in the hallways, he's respectful, but at home, he really tries as hard as he can to, like, dive bomb any experience. You ask him to do anything in our home, like in terms of like, hey, can you take out the trash? And it's like World War III. Like, I have just cut off one of his fingers, and I'm exhausted by that experience of parenting.
What was interesting is that,
but he's a really good kid. I want to say that. Go ahead.
It's interesting that if you work in a professional setting with certain adults who are very similar to that, where like you ask them to do things, they will tell you all the reasons why they don't think they should, or it doesn't make sense, or they question you.
Yeah.
So you start to see that as like, now that you have teenagers, like, I'm sure they were just like it's kind of like connecting to like these teenagers who continue that through adulthood, and you see them as adults. So just like, it's okay to say yes, or it's okay to like not have to question you. Like, be a team player, just be like, hey, that's fine.
Although I will say, I have always said, when we were growing up, like, people would say, like, your kids are like such great kids for my parents, and then we'd be hot messes at home. And I'd rather him be a hot mess at home and be a good kid out in public. Like, he's figuring it out. He applied for Chick-fil-A. He has an interview, and I'm excited about that. He did it all on his own. He wrote the most perfect little resume. I was really proud of him. He's a good kid. He is just a hot mess at home. So So, anyways, he ruined geocaching, and then you took us to Scotty's fish place.
Detroit.
Yes.
Brightmoor.
Which was fine.
My old stomping grounds.
It's fine.
It's fine? You didn't like it?
And then you bought me books, which was risky. Risky, but I'm going to try to read them.
I think you have authors, so I got some ideas, so I got you 5 books.
Yeah.
You like new authors.
I'll be doing some reading. Today's beautiful, and I'm 46.
You are 46. How does it feel to be closer to 50 than 40?
Not great, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the getting older thing. It's fine. It sucks. I'm just going to die soon, So there's that. My kids are going to watch me die. That sucks to know that. Like that they're going to watch me die. Like that's hard to believe. So yeah, it sucks.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if I'm lucky, that's true.
If you're lucky. We've had more deaths. I had
lots more deaths.
I had another family member die.
Your cousin died?
So I had a cousin. My dad's cousin died. Which brings, I think I'm up to a good 7 funerals this year.
There's been a lot of funerals. The last 2 Fridays I've spent at funerals, not for people I know, but for people I love who know.
Yeah, I'm losing more family members.
You're moving,
or people I know. I mean, you're losing like people.
I'm not trying, like the most recent one that died. I just don't want you to be like I had never heard of this person.
Yeah,
so
but my family's
I just
too big, so
like,
you've seen them. It's just that you don't connect.
I
know.
I feel like I have no idea who this person is. Like I've never heard the name. I didn't even, so like as much as we want to be with you in your grief, and we are with you in your grief, we should be honest about some of this. Like this, what? Like you didn't lose like a close family member.
You don't know who they are because my family's too big. Like I don't know. Like your mom has cousins. I wouldn't know.
Right, and I said if they died, I'd go to the funeral, but I wouldn't act like it was a devastating loss.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying like I was just calling out. Like wow,
there's a lot of people.
Magnifica humanitas, like human dignity. You're just like saying, oh well.
No, I'm not. Like for your parents, I think they've been in a brutal. Your parents have been on a brutal.
No, but my thing about this is that. I think that I had a larger extended family than you do in terms of like
100%. Yeah.
Like cousins. So like when we get together, there was always those cousins, like your dad's cousins and your mom's cousins that were more of my dad's cousins that were around. So there's people that every single year you saw them like at family things like twice a year. So yeah, you don't have like a personal, but there was people that were around.
Right.
And now they're all like dying. Like that one cousin you would see there, he's gone. Yeah. The other cousin, he's gone.
Yeah.
So it's just more like that. It's like all these people are gone.
Yeah, there's a lot of people
that you always see every year. Yeah. Like, oh, maybe I used to see that guy all the time. And
well, my point to you though is I don't think it stops. I mean, I think that's just the season of life we be in now. Is that like
correct? My parents
we'll have many funerals.
Yeah,
which is weird.
Yes, we're in that season.
Yes, we are in that season. So
but you're kind of like, well, you didn't know him that well, so who cares? I mean, like,
no, I'm not saying that. I deeply feel for your parents. Like for real. Your parents, I think, are going through it. Your mom and dad, and that will be us. Like I thought about that when we're your parents' ages, and like our first cousins are dying, and our friends are dying. Like that's a whole different thing. Like. So I just feel like you're being a little what I'm trying to say is a little melodramatic in terms of
that is gaslight. All I said was I'm saying numbers wise.
Because he's like, oh my gosh, another funeral. Like life is so, like
I'm saying like compared to last year and the year before, this year has been the most like deaths
many funerals
that I have seen compared to my prior years.
That's true.
It's just calling that out.
All right, that's fine.
While you try to denigrate, like who cares? Also, you had a coworker's mother died.
Right. Yes. So I've been the last 2 Fridays I've been at funerals. Which the older I get, the more I see value in trying to make space to be at funerals for people who you love, who you might not know who they are, but like filling the church with people, praying them into heaven.
We have friends who do that. Like
we do. Eric Coolis goes to strangers' funerals. Like he just
he doesn't know them at all.
He's like he finds obituaries and he goes into random churches.
He goes like funerals.com. He's like finds local funerals. And he just shows up. He's that guy that sits in the background. Like, who's that guy? You're like, I don't know. So you're kind of if you want someone to show up to your funeral, just call him up.
Call Eric.
He'll show up and he'll be in the back.
Yeah,
kind of just sitting there praying with you,
funeraling with you. That's funny. I wonder if he listens to this podcast.
I think he used to.
That would be a funny reflection.
We'll get a text message if he does listen. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. Funerals. Then this weekend has been Memorial Day weekend. I got my closet organized. I got our mudroom organized. We still have much to do this afternoon to get our house in order. Because I feel like Memorial Day weekend, along with being a time when we memorialize people, is also a weekend to get ready for the summer, you know, like to do some cleaning. So that's what I feel like we're doing.
It was organized cleaning. That's expectations that are shared ahead of the weekend. That's what's helpful.
Yes.
Expectations shared.
Right.
I think we're all into the cleaning.
You think that we're all into the cleaning?
As long as his expectations are set around, hey, I would really like what you just said. That was the first time you said that. If that would have started like on Thursday, hey guys, I really like this is a good weekend to do some cleaning.
Well, we have nothing to do this weekend, so it would seem.
But between us, there's some of us who are like, oh, we have nothing to do. Let's fill it with things.
By filling it with things, you're talking about just cleaning. Yes.
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 You also wanted to do other things too. I was like, let's just actually just chill.
Yeah.
Like, let's use it for a day of chillage.
We've been chilling.
Yes, cleaning. I cleaned. We started working on the garage.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to throw away in the garage.
Yes.
You donated more clothes. I think we put some bags.
We did. Yeah, it's great.
I need to donate. They have the used uniform sale. I need to drop some clothes off there.
Okay, great. Good luck to you with that.
What were you going to say?
Nothing. You stress me out with the used uniform sale, and everybody thinks you're so great because you go, but you actually end up bringing thousands of bags to our house with clothes that we can't use.
Gaslight.
And it is very stressful.
I don't buy that much anymore. Okay. Gaslighting. Okay. We don't need that much because now, if you think about it, we have. Well, when is the high school? The high school also has a separate one.
I don't know, honey.
But it's different now. Now we only have 3 in the grade school. And John Paul should be able, we have to see what he has.
Yeah.
And then the girls, usually it's just Malia that needs stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry we don't buy everything new. I apologize that we're not in the season to just buy all new school clothes and school bells and pay $100 for a jumper.
One day we will be.
I apologize that we're not in that life.
The Holy Father also didn't like excess. And I really think that is a challenge for you and I. Like when it comes to our travels and our home and our, like basically like the principle of solidarity would mean that you have a preferential option for the poor. And it said that you should always be working to give the poor what they are owed. And any level of excess needs to always be examined. And you and I, when we spend tens of thousands of dollars on vacation, it always feels really heavy to me. I know you feel differently than I do.
I think it's a very tough, because he's talking about a global sense, which is very different.
He's talking about individual and global. I want to be very clear.
I'm saying we always have to be sensitive. Like, it's a very subjective phrase when you say excess, because there are people who may be living at certain levels who are doing better than.
But I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about us. Now, what always squares it away is the 10% tithe that we do. So, like, and we've shared this before. This is not getting into like anything weird, but we always, and have done for years, take off 10% of whatever we make and give it to charitable organizations, our church, things like that. So that always does. Like, I think that's important. But as your career continues to escalate and giving the 10% is not felt, I do get nervous when I.
Oh, it's felt to me.
I don't feel like it's felt. I mean, in terms of our creature comforts, like I don't feel like
we always can do more though. Means that, but we have lots of things that we'd say, well, we can't do that because of how we prioritize other things.
I don't know.
But excess is always difficult. Like, what is excess? Like, because to your point, like for any given month, you don't want to wear the same dress more than once in a given month. Excess could be like you could wear the same dress twice.
I know.
And not need to buy that extra dress.
Well, that's a great point. No, I mean, so I talk about vacations. We talk about that. You always criticize my huge wardrobe. And I'm always like, I have to wear an outfit every single day. So you're like, well, wear the same outfit. You're like 10 outfits to you seems reasonable. So for 2 weeks you wear the same thing and then just like recycle it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, no, that doesn't seem reasonable to me, but you're right. Actually, like 5 outfits is reasonable. Anything beyond that is excess. Like it is excess. It's for vanity's purposes. So you do wonder if at some point.
Because no one notices except for you. No one's going to be like, she wore that
I understand. Week. No, people would. If I wore the same 5 outfits every day of my professional life,
no
people
would
notice. 100% people would notice and judge. 100%. If I noticed the same outfit that who cares? It's for vanity purposes is what I'm saying. My question that is unresolved, and I feel like we always excuse it away, and I just need to continue to think about it, is at the end of my life, is Jesus going to find me having a closet full of clothes versus 5 outfits reasonable when there's poverty within my sphere of influence, within 20 minutes of where I live. I don't know what to do with stuff.
But the challenge is we're never able to solve that.
I know.
It goes back to Schindler's List of like, I could have got more. I could have got more out. It's like,
Right.
yes, we always could give more, but that still doesn't solve like.
Right.
It's a very challenging thing, which is not a direct. I think it's more about.
So here's a fun fact about the document. Schindler's List mentioned in the document, which I thought was super interesting. MLK mentioned in the document. Nelson Mandela mentioned by name in the document. And Gandalf mentioned by name in the document. Let's talk about what else he did.
I don't think you mean Gandalf.
I do.
Lord of the Rings, Gandalf.
Yes, he said just like T.R.J. Tolkien said in the words of Gandalf, like he's quoting Gandalf.
Nerdy stuff. I thought you meant like Gandhi.
No, I meant Gandalf.
That's a nerdy thing
really
to mention
funny.
Gandalf.
What is that guy's name? J.R. Token? J.R.? I can't remember the letters now. The other thing he did, which was super interesting, that I can't remember in a papal document. You ready for this?
Yep.
He acknowledged that up until the 18th century, the church did not condemn the enslavement of people definitively, and that the churches and he framed it right. Like he's like, culturally it was acceptable, blah, 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 blah. But he's like, it took up until the 18th century for the church to universally condemn the enslavement of people. And then he went on to say, like, for that, on behalf of the church, I personally apologize. That was the line. And I think some of that kind of stuff, I told you, I thought it was really interesting. Like he references the enslavement of people and civil rights and things like that, and talks about how the effects of that stuff are still felt today. And it is our responsibility to not only be like, oh, this happened and it was wrong, but to restore and like rectify the harm done through things like that. I thought it was interesting. You know?
Because you're like, just get over it.
I mean, yeah.
You're in that camp.
I'm
just
definitely
like,
in that camp. I'm in that camp.
You're in the get over it camp.
I'm in that camp. But the church challenges me. Thank you for challenging me. Thank you for challenging me.
Just move on, people.
Well, and you know what I think I've gotten better about that I have family members that have not gotten better about? Let me judge others while affirming myself. Are you ready?
Go ahead and pat yourself on the back.
Great. I feel like I was raised in a household that definitely used inflammatory,
yeah,
and like hyper dramatic language when discussing human events. Like even now that's done. Whereas I'm really trying to be like, I understand how people reach different perspectives. However, I still think there's a right perspective. So not using inflammatory language to talk about things. Like all Muslims are terrorists, or all people that voted for Trump want babies to be killed in Gaza. Like there's a way to actually talk about things without using inflammatory language.
Yes.
I think I'm getting better at that sometimes.
Well, and that goes back to the human dignity of
right. Basically, he's like, anytime you're making people enemies, that's not of God. That doesn't exist. Like humans are never the enemies. Like cultures are never the enemy. Like sin is the enemy. It's that whole thing, right? Like that is the only enemy is sin. Like so,
which is still a person. Like,
but I'll tell you, it is shocking how many people I know that sweepingly have no problem believing that like Muslims are the enemy. Like that's wild to me. Like intelligent people will say that. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
But I would challenge.
That's a crazy thing to say.
But I would also go to people say, well, how many Muslims like do you know?
I mean, I feel like I know a lot.
What?
Of Muslims.
No, I'm talking about like the people that say that they're enemies.
Right.
Like, okay,
but that's what I'm saying. They don't know exactly.
How many do you know, interact with, and talk with?
Correct.
Like, how many have you actually? Versus like, they're like this boogeyman.
Yes. So it's easy to vilify the boogeyman. That's what I'm saying to you. And I feel like growing up, that was the kind of language that was regularly used in my house. And I feel like I've made a concerted effort to work against that. You know, it's good. What else? Okay, coming up.
We got a.
Maybe we should never record a podcast after I read an encyclical because I keep going way off topic with all the things.
That's why you're the resident Catholic.
Yes. Right. Go ahead. To Joey's graduation.
He had his 8th grade, his last day this past week.
I want to say something controversial, but then it'll have to go in the vault, so I'm not going to.
What is it about?
Graduations and baccalaureates being married to each other versus separated from each other. Can I say something controversial?
That's a Catholic school thing. As long as it's not specific to a certain school.
Well, I just think the baccalaureate masses.
I still don't understand that. Like,
it's amazing.
Understand
no, I
the
love a
concept of
baccalaureate
it.
mass. A baccalaureate mass is a blessing for graduates. It's a particular mass where you celebrate graduates. I don't ever think a baccalaureate. This could get me in trouble. I just think that it's really lengthy when you decide to have a baccalaureate mass and then follow it by a graduation. That's a long time to ask people to sit in one space in a celebratory vibe. And I think sometimes unintentionally it kills the celebratory vibe because it's so long. So long. Like we will sit at church on Thursday for 2 hours for an 8th grade graduation because there'll be mass first and then graduation. Maybe an hour and a half hour for
the graduation is usually pretty quick for the grade school.
Yes,
the graduation is pretty quick. They once they go from that, they go through the names and we're out of there.
Right.
Like it's not like a 5 speeches from all the valedictorians.
But I do wonder if we ever need to have speaker. A 2.5 hour baccalaureate graduation experience. I think it turns people off actually. And I think it can turn people off from the mass accidentally. Like I think people are like, dude, I just sat through an hour and a half mass or an hour mass in a super hot church. And now I have to do an hour and a half graduation of lots of speeches and processions. I just think
the high school is a different.
Yeah, I think we got to be careful about that stuff.
It's a different animal than the grade school.
So, but anyways, Joey's graduation will be on Thursday.
His last day last Thursday.
He is so excited to be alone by himself. He has 2 full weeks of like hanging you out by yourself. And that doesn't happen for the Wilkerson children, you know? So he has asked for the refrigerator to be stocked with air fryer material.
We have to figure out that, so we can't just.
I know.
He can't just be fried food.
Well, and he also can't be a bum for 2 weeks. So you got to figure out a plan for him, like you did for your son, Aaron. You gave him a plan.
I don't remember that.
You did. You don't ever let our kids have pure recreation for the sake.
No, he can't have just 2 weeks by himself. Right. Just chilling.
And then what else? I think that's it. We're getting really close to summer.
We're end of year.
Man, are we close to summer, boo?
Because this week we got his graduation Thursday, and dance. There's a dance following it.
Yes.
And the following week is the last week of school for the kids. Grade school.
We go another week after.
And then the high school goes another week.
Which is controversial, but I'm not going to touch that controversial with a 10-foot pole.
Exactly.
But we go another week, and then I am done June 12th, our anniversary.
And I keep going to work.
Steak or prime and proper for dinner for our anniversary.
And I keep working.
You just keep working. Not me, honey. Not me. I hang out. I read books. I go to the pool. I am so excited. We go to the ocean for a week. It's going to be amazing. Summer is going to be amazing.
For you, yes.
Yeah, because I don't cram stuff like that.
And I have to adjust to having you all home.
Yes, queen. I'll make you breakfast every morning.
I have to stay in my office. I can't leave because you all are.
You poor thing, you
around.
know? Yes, can't wait. So, all right, that was a great podcast. Yeah. I actually don't feel like it was so good because I had so many things. Back to it.
I think we're back to our rotation.
Back to it. Yes.
Episode 86.
Yes. Great.
Getting close to 100.
Yep. Okay, we got to go clean a lot of things.
Yes, you do.
Okay, bye.
Bye.